Dan, thanks for joining us. In less than 24 hours, we host Millwall of the Championship in the FA Cup. As club chairman and owner, you must be super proud.
Super proud. Yeah, I am. I'm hugely proud of everyone. Really, it took a long time to get it, and it was something that myself and Luke have spoken about for a long time. And years and years ago, it used to be the Holy Grail was the first round proper, and in recent years, it's been the third round proper. But for any football fan like myself and you, Grant, that's followed clubs up and down the country, third round day was always a special day in our calendar. And to think that, we've got my hometown club, a club my dad managed and I played for very badly. And to think they're now going to be playing a championship club in Millwall is fantastic.
And I mean, what does it mean to you personally to get into the third round? I mean, having already read your programme notes, and on that, those that haven't bought their programme, do so because it's a fantastic read. You said it's one of those things that you've ticked off your bucket list.
Well, yeah. Listen, everyone knows. I mean, I was a Chelsea supporter. I'm a Chelsea supporter. Like you're a Super Group. You're a Rangers supporter. But when I can take you back to the school playground when we were kids in the 60s and the 70s, and we'd all huddle around the transistor radio on a Monday because that's when the FA Cup draw was made. So the third round draw was always something. It was where every little club wanted a big club, and back then, when you can imagine, can't you? I mean, Chelsea, the old shed was falling down. The East Stand hadn't been built. The old North Stand was a big wraparound, empty terrace, where the away supporters always got wet. And but there was something magical about the third round, always was. And for any supporter of my age, they'll always remember the third round. It was exciting. It was always played on the first Saturday in January. It was always a 3 o'clock kickoff. There was no live telly back then. You wanted to watch football. You had to go to the games. You could watch Match of the Day or the big match on a Sunday for the London clubs. And the only match really, club match which was live, was the FA Cup final, which was the big one in May. And all the family, your mum, your dad, your brothers, everyone sat down for the cup final. You watched them, going for breakfast. You watched them getting on the coach. You watched them on the coach going to Wembley and going up Wembley Way, and it was magical, and that's what it was. So the third round, for a certain age bracket, it was always a fan's day. It was a magical day.
And for Bournemouth, it's sort of fairy tale stuff hitting the third round. I mean, it took us a long time to get to the first round, and once we hit the National League and we hit the first round on a more regular basis, we beat Blackpool and then fell obviously short in the second round against Coventry. Now we've actually hit the third round, and obviously watching the draw live when we was at Canvey, to draw out Millwall, I mean, a top London club. I mean, other than a top 6 club, you couldn't really ask for a better draw.
No, it's but let's be honest. I remember in 1973 when we our first one was Southend away, and then we followed that up. We had Swindon at home, and we nicked a 0-0 draw and lost 2-0 down there. And again, having Millwall, at Meadow Park, that's the one regret is there's not 2,000 boys from Bermondsey at one end and the Wood Army at the other end. You can imagine, can't you? The people from the High Street would hear the wars as it went up, and as the players come out, and and again, you know, as I say, you know, you can smell a burger and onions and Bovril and the whole excitement of, you know, of the little ones being stuck on the stanchions and you know, and watching the game. So that's a huge disappointment because players respond to that. And if you're a little club like us and you pull the club like Millwall, you know it's a sellout. So you know Millwall are coming to town. You know what it would mean to the local economy. You know what it would mean to the players. And you know, I remember going to Millwall, you know, a few times, you know, and that was a tough place to go to. You know, you go to the Old Den in the CBL. And I put in my programme notes, funny enough. I remember 1976 going down there on a thing called a Red Bus Rover, which was, I think it cost me 25 pence with me and my pal, Paul Appleby. And you can imagine how many buses it took, because a Red Bus Rover basically gave you an all-day red bus ticket to go wherever you wanted. And it probably took us about 5 hours to get over to Bermondsey from Boreham Wood. And Millwall beat us 3-0 that day, I have to say. I don't think I opened my mouth once when I went in there, to be fair. I was petrified. But amazing what you do when you're 14. You know, but again, as I say, you know, everyone loves football.
And you touched on it there, Dan. Tomorrow would most definitely have been an absolute sellout at Meadow Park. The North Bank would have been absolutely rocking. As you say, the economy would in the town would be booming. The euphoria of the town. Unfortunately, it's not to be, obviously, because of COVID, but it's still such a great occasion for the club.
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, you know, my gaffer, you know, he's spent all week giving interviews as of the players. It's a shame that normally at this point, when we get to the first round, we normally hire the FA Cup for a day and give it to our sponsors and pop it into Tesco's and take it round the town and make sure everyone can have their photograph with it. So those things have been sorely missed. But nothing can take away from us. As I say, you know, we've been having a go at this for 73 years and we've been entering the FA Cup for 50 of those. So this is our 50th attempt and we finally got there. So, yeah, we're missing the fans, but so are Millwall, so's everybody. And we're still alive. We're still here. And with so much going on, you know, we've got to be thankful for that.
You know, and of course, the FA Cup, it brings its financial rewards and obviously the increased media attention that we've seen this week, as you said, with the numerous interviews with Luke, the players. I know you've done a couple yourself. But the one thing you've always said with the FA Cup, it's not about the money, it's always about the glory.
Well, any football fan will tell you, you know, go back to, when did Millwall go to the Cup final? 2004, was it, under Wisey? Yeah, and you know, and I think that one was played at the Millennium when Wembley was still being rebuilt. And they'll tell you that everyone will tell you it was always about the glory. I know they got done in the final by Man U, but you know, they went down there in their numbers. You know, they sung their hearts out, and that's what football is. It's about daring to dream. You know, I don't want to say daring to dream really, because that is, I suppose that's a Tottenham saying nowadays, isn't it? But you know what I mean. Every fan dares to dream. Every chairman dares to dream. I'm not sure every new owner dares to dream. In the ones that have been in the Football League, etc. The recent ones, anyway, because you can see the mess that some of the, like Wigan and some great clubs have been left in. But you know, for us old-fashioned owners and chairmen, it's always been about community. It's always been about local. It's always been about us. And we're probably playing a club that mirrors us like that. Millwall's always been about Millwall. It's always been about Bermondsey. It's always been about their community. And whether people like it or loathe it, you know, they've got a proud history, you know, from the docks until now. And as I say, they'll be missing their fans just as much as we will.
No, and on the football side of things, Dan, there'll be certainly no pressure on us tomorrow. We'll be back in our sort of position as the underdog. and that's something as a club we thrive on.
Yeah, it was quite strange, wasn't it? The when we went into the last round. I mean, obviously we were underdogs against Southend, but Southend weren't going great guns at the time, and we come through that. But we were huge favourites going down to Canvey. You know, and we at that point when we went out, we knew it was the winner takes all, and the winner would take on Millwall. So there was a pressure on us there. So we know that how that's going to feel for Millwall. You know, Gary Rowett's a good manager, and you know he'll pick a team that he thinks is going to come to Meadow Park and put us to bed. It's our job to hang in there for as long as possible, as all underdogs do in the FA Cup. You know, you hope to get past the first 20 minutes and see where you are. And there's an upset somewhere, and everyone will tell you, you hope it's going to be, you're going to be that upset. But those of us, you know, this is my 22nd season as chairman and owner. So, you know, we're used to, we understand what defeat is. But, you know, as long as we leave it all out on the park and we've done everything that we can, then we walk away. We've gone further than we've ever gone before. But it would be good to know, you know, at the end of the 90 minutes or extra time, or if it goes to pet, whatever it is, we've left everything out there and made the best team win.
You just said there you've been in the chair at Bournemouth for 22 years. You've had some magical moments along the way, FA Cup wins against Blackpool and against Southend earlier this year, as well as a playoff final victory against Whitehawk, and obviously getting to Wembley in the playoff final against Tranmere. But if we were to get a positive result tomorrow, would that probably be your greatest moment as Bournemouth chairman?
I think if we get through this season, it would probably be our greatest achievement, because this has been a tough, you know, this has been a tough year. Greatest football achievement in football, it probably is on paper, or it would be on paper. I'm not sure you can have a greatest achievement in football without the fans being there, because it's that connection. It's why we do it. You know, when I look around, you know, I know what it was like when I took over in '99. We had, I think my first game was Carl Shorten, and we took a 3-0 hiding, and there was probably 250 people in the ground, and probably half of them was my family. So yeah, it would be probably on paper, well, not probably, on paper it would definitely be the biggest achievement for us as a club. But on a personal note, I'm not sure I've had anything at the moment that can probably beat that playoff semi-final at Sutton, which when we won that 3-2, and I knew I was going to be walking with my town up Wembley, I'm not sure anything can take away that at this moment, because, you know, I was walking up Wembley Way that day, and there was Litlands in their push chairs, there was people with Boreham hats and flags, and you know, our town only holds 33,000, and we must have took 4,000 or 5,000 of them up there with us, which, you know, is a large percentage, you know. So yeah, the answer to your question is, on paper, yes, biggest achievement. Without the fans, I'll have to let you know that at 2:00 tomorrow.
And one last thing, Dan. Earlier in the week, you brought back, or yourself and brought back a fan's favourite in Junior Marias. It's certainly good to see him back at the club.
The Angry Ant, yeah, bringing him back. I'm absolutely thrilled, Grant. It's no secret that he was a huge favourite of mine. He got us the goal, didn't he? That, you know, won us the playoff final against Whitehawk. So we're in the National League because of him. He's gone on, and he's gone and, you know, he went back into the Football League. You know, been at Wickham. He was on loan with us. He went back into the Football League. You know, with Peterborough and Northampton, and he went on loan at St Mirren. And it's hard. You imagine in COVID, he's away from his family, etc. You know, he's a London boy. So, you know, to bring him home, and get him, he'll have a massive impact for us till the end of the season. St Mirren have been fantastic. They've been very, very kind to us in terms of, our contribution to his wages. I'd like to thank him for that. And you know what he's about. If Luke starts him, or if he's coming off the bench tomorrow, whatever way it goes, he can play off. He gets his shots away. He plays off both feet. He buzzes about, and he'll be a threat. And so no, it's I'm delighted to have him back.
And I know his appearance tomorrow is obviously subject to international clearance. Based on what you said, does that mean that that's been received and he would be in the squad for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, that all came through today, all with plenty of time. So we're now very happy with that. The Scottish FA were great. St Mirren moved quickly, and the English FA sorted everything out. So no, he's I'm really, really pleased, and no, I couldn't be more delighted, really. With all the, we've had all the COVID tests. I think we've had 90 tests this week, and we've come through it. I think there was maybe one or two, that as I say, one member of staff, they've got a COVID case in their family, so they've just got to self-isolate. But it's been fantastic, and we can't wait for the game.
And finally, for myself, Dan, I'm sure the management, players, and certainly the Wood Army will be watching this before tomorrow's game. As usual, have you any final message for them ahead of the big game tomorrow?
No, I mean, they know what I know most of them by name. I know where they live. We've been around each other for so long. It's been a tough week for a lot of the Wood Army. We lost John the dog this week, and he'll be in our thoughts. But there's no message really. There's a positive one in that myself and Luke have agreed a 3-year deal. So that took us about 3 minutes to work out. So Luke's with us all for another 3.5 years. So I'm absolutely thrilled to let you know that. I mean, I haven't even let the press, our media manager or anybody know about that yet. But yeah, myself and Luke agreed that yesterday. It was something which we were always going to get to. It was just a case of finding the right time. I think I got the best young manager in outside the Football League. He's been with me for more than 15 years. He was a sessional coach. He played for us on loan when he was at Bishop's. We took him for Bishop Stortford. We loaned him out to Northwood. He went to Wimbledon. He coached for me. Became a big part of the academy. Became the academy manager. Played for us in our playoff wins, Kingstonian, etc. Becoming Ian Allinson's assistant manager, and he's been my manager now since, for 5-6 years. I made him the youngest manager in the top 5 divisions. When I gave him the job, everybody raised their eyebrows. He was 30 years of age, but what a job he's done. So yeah, the message to the Wood Army, I suppose, is we're still, it's still small steps. We're still building. We're still quietly doing what we're doing. And we'll be ready to go. And whatever happens tomorrow, we'll be doing our very, very best to make everybody proud. And as we always say, this is our town. This is our community. This is our club. And without them, we're nothing. And I think you'll see a performance tomorrow where the one thing they'll do, they'll give everything that they've got, and we'll leave everything on the park. And that's all you can do.
Fantastic, Dan. Thanks for taking the time to speak to us this afternoon.
Okay, God bless, and speak to you soon. God bless.